recording video, recording audio. Hello.
From a bedroom in Nashville, Tennessee, and not a cool bedroom, just a regular bedroom, you're listening to With Ben Becker.
For the intro, I want like a dun 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 dun.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now with Ben Becker.
Let's just get the title out of the way. This isn't clickbait. Exactly 1 year ago yesterday, I woke up in the hospital at 4 a.m. with no clue what was going on. Absolutely no clue what was going on. I heard, "Hey, hon, you're in the hospital. We don't know who you are, but if you could call someone you love, maybe get them to pick you up. That would be what we need right now." That sentence will sit in my brain, echo in my brain for the rest of my life. Because I looked at her and laughed. I was like, "What? What are you? Damn, you're sensitive. What if I just put you here? How well is the audio? Check. Check. Well, I'm just gonna do that. That's just gonna sit on my. That doesn't feel right. I want to be able to talk. Let's put a sock on it. Will you guys judge me if I put a sock on it? Yeah, you will. But that's the point of this. Okay. I got a colorful sock for fun. You guys like my shorts? Check. All right. So this is the sock I chose. Super fun. Gotta have fun with our socks. Actually, my parents, I think my parents think that I want socks. They buy me new colorful socks that I usually just don't wear unless I don't have other socks. So Mom and Dad, I have a lot of socks. I don't need more socks, okay? I love you guys. Let's see how this works. Ooh, that sounds weird in my ears. What am I doing? Putting a sock on like a gray piece of equipment. That helps a little bit. I bet you can hear me totally fine. No issues. Let's do it. Let's just commit to the sock. You like it? Because I'm kind of digging this. This might be the setup from now on. Is there anything on my desk I don't want people seeing? Nope. Already got rid of all the, what's something bad that... Already got rid of all the crack. I don't do crack. You knew that. I don't have to explain every joke I make. Oh my gosh. All right, where are we? What are we doing? Today we're talking about what happened to me. But I also want to catch you guys up on just life before. We're not just going to get into the deep shit. I wanted to do an alone Ben Becker with Ben Becker. I started it that way. I enjoyed it. And then I got really into wanting to just get everybody introduced to my friends because I just wanted everybody to see how cool my posse is. But now I'm kind of at the point. Hi, Jax. What's up? My cat is adorable. Now I'm kind of at the point where I lost track of what it was because it was all just buds. You know what I mean? And this is about me learning about life through my friends, but it also needs to be something that when you watch, you're kind of getting the With Ben Becker experience. And I don't think doing 2 episodes about a catch a killer and then not finishing it because Nina is too busy to finish. I don't think that's With Ben Becker material. And I think I realized that and I got really in my head because it started becoming more about content and quantity and less about quality. I started realizing that, oh wow, this is 2 hours long. Nobody's going to want to watch that all the way through, but I could split it into 2 weeks and not have to stress for an entire week about what episode 2 is. So I think I kind of just fell into that trap of I started this because I wanted to prove I could do it. And now that's the only reason I'm doing it. But that's not the only reason I'm doing it. That just became the only reason I was focusing on it. I love podcasting. I've had a freaking blast podcasting. I just don't have the time to do it weekly and to put all of my time and effort into it. I took 1 month off of podcasting and gained 40,000 followers on TikTok because I stopped stressing out about things that I didn't necessarily have to stress out about, started doing what I was used to doing again. And it was really easy and I enjoyed it very much. So I've kind of had to just regroup. I guess it wasn't 40,000. I had like 20 beforehand. Probably like almost 30,000 followers. Just because I focused back on what I needed to focus on. And that was a wake-up call. That was a, hey, Ben, what are you doing? You have a career. Don't make this your career. That's what I kind of had to remember. So yeah, with Ben Becker's not over. That's for sure. But I want to switch it up. I want it to kind of be more of a multimedia that's just not Ben Becker music. When podcasts get uploaded. But I want to focus on the TikTok and Instagram more than I focus on the YouTube and Anchor. And I think I'm also going to post like streaming clips, like when I'm producing stuff or when I'm just playing Rocket League with my friends on Discord. Like there's a lot of fun stuff that's just my daily life that is with Ben Becker that I was just not really tapping into out of, I guess fear that people wouldn't relate. But who cares? This is with Ben Becker. You know what I mean? People will relate, just not to all of it. And that's what I keep forgetting every once in a while. Also, I'm like, I'm so good at Rocket League. Like, if you don't want to watch me just destroy kids on Rocket League, that's your fault. That's your fault. I break ankles. So, here, play a clip. That's me. I don't know what the clip is, but I know it's badass. And I'm just going to time it to where right now just broke ankles. All right, so, do you have any more questions? No, you don't, because I'm a badass. What am I gonna do? Oh! Yes! Anyways, yeah, so a lot of good things have happened this month. That's not the only reason that I thought about this. I guess it's just the best example as to how much life changed the moment I focused on the right parts of it. It's funny too. It's not been a great headspace. During the best parts. Like, the reason I slowed down on the podcast was because my room was getting gross. And as you can see by the desk, I mean, it's not too great right now, but I can see my floor. You know what I mean? So we made some progress. Making progress, new hop in my step by. Speaking of that line walks us directly into what we're talking about today. New hop in my step by step. These days I'm walking normal. I feel really good. The last video to blow up, I was doing a little hop, skip, howdy boy. You know what I mean? And just doing a little square dancing. So I mean, I'd say I'm 95% back to who I was. This sock is hilarious. The thing is, I don't know if I'll ever be 100%. The more and more that I work out, the more and more I go to the gym and just get to working on those parts that just have not been able to move for a while in my ankle and my leg, the more I realize things are slowly moving a little better than they used to. And that's good, but I have no way to say if I will ever be back to 100%. Right now I can walk and I can jog a little bit. And I'm close. But let's just go. We've had 8 minutes and 30 seconds of just goofing, booling, explaining life. But yeah, I woke up in the hospital with a bunch of question marks, first off. And I'm going to give kind of my memory first of when it happened, and then all the pieces that I've been able to put together the past year. Okay, so I'm going to kind of give you a bunch of plot holes and try to fill them as we go. I didn't really want to tell this story, obviously, for a year, because I didn't want it to seem like that's why I made the podcast, to just get some clout from an accident or an incident. This podcast was really important to me. I really enjoy it, and I didn't want to make it some clickbait bullshit type of thing. It's the anniversary right now, and it feels like it's a good time to just talk about what I've been through this year. So yeah, I wake up in the hospital and the woman just says, "We don't know who you are, but you need to call your family." So I use the hospital. Well, I was going to call Tyler Adlam, my roommate. Didn't have his number. Didn't have Joey's number. They said I lost my phone. And I actually had two phones at the time because I was trying to switch from a Samsung to an iPhone. I had all 10 years of lyrics on the Samsung and was trying to upload all of those to the iPhone. Little did I know Samsung had a cloud that I could have uploaded this to. But I lost the Samsung. So I lost 10 years worth of lyrics. Everything I'd ever written was in those notes. And I just tried not to get down on it. I told myself if I had hit songs in my head, they were still there, and I didn't need a phone to remember them. And all the trash ones, it was like they got wiped. So that's what I told myself. It hasn't killed me so far. I'm feeling okay. I'm sure I lost a couple bangers, but we'll just wait till they pop up in my flashbacks, you know? So yeah, I call my mom and dad. I think I called my mom's phone. No, I think I called my dad's phone because he would have been a little easier to wake up. And not necessarily easier to wake up. He just would have been a little less startled by what I had to say. If I just called my mom and said, I'm in the hospital, and she had just woken up, I knew that was going to be a panic attack. Not that it wouldn't if she heard dad tell her, but it was just a easier, let's start with dad. Because I knew they were in the same bed anyways. It's like dad's just going to go, oh, okay, honey, something's not good. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be good either way. But I call my dad, and I'm just, like, embarrassed. At this point, I think that I got drunk. Like, I am beyond ashamed of myself. I had no memory of what had happened other than I was with my friends at a bar. So the first thought is I got trashed and just don't remember what happened. And then, like, tripped and fell and broke my shit or something like that. So I'm calling my parents like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on, but I'm in the hospital. I have a broken leg and a broken ankle, and I need somebody to pick me up. Do you have Tyler or Joey's number? Tyler was awake somehow by a miracle at 4:30 in the morning. And he came and picked me up. I actually I'm going to save the video he sent me today. This is what reminded me of, you know, like what day it truly was, and my parents. But it's just him seeing me through the window of the emergency room just roasting my ass.
Look at this motherfucker right here, dude. The fucking emergency room.
Because no one knew what had happened to me yet. I mean, still technically no one really knows what happened to me. But at this point, we knew nothing. All we had was blame Ben, and even I was blaming Ben. I had no idea what was happening. So yeah, I'll play that video at some point in this. That's hilarious. Tyler comes in there. I've already been all strapped up, and I'm kind of going through what I remember. And before I get distracted by all those things, I want to make the point that my mom said, because my mom had a very close family, just a big family, and a couple of them fell into a bit of a drinking addiction. A bit of alcoholism, not like an extreme issue for everyone. It hits close to home. So I've always known that. I've always had a big piece in my brain being like, you know, you always have to be careful. And I think my mom hearing that I had been drinking and was found in the street or some shit like that, her alarms went off right off the bat. And she said that she was listening while I was talking to her on the phone, like, how does this dude sound? Granted, I think I broke my ankle at like midnight, and I'm calling them at 4:30. So yes, by then you could sober up quite a bit, and they had probably put me on medication as well. But I was crystal clear, like talking to my mom. And I don't think blackout drunk 4 hours later you wake up without a hangover, especially with a broken leg, and just start talking to your parents like normal. And that's what my mom said. Was the first thing I noticed was you sounded perfectly fine, and that was when I knew I needed to figure out a couple things. And so she shows up at my house. Like, I've been asleep. I got home at probably 5:30, fell asleep, and woke up to my mom walking in my bedroom in Nashville, Tennessee, 4.5 hours away from where she lived at 8 a.m. So that means I've gotten 3 hours of sleep, and my mom busts in, not just quietly comes in. She said she did it on purpose to see how I reacted. Because if I came in and was like, oh, what are you doing? My head. She was like, okay. She said I don't remember. She said I turned over, like I couldn't really move. My legs were just like this on a pillow. But I rolled over my kind of like side torso or whatever and just smiled at her and closed my eyes. I remember her coming in, but I don't remember having a specific reaction or anything. She said that's what it was. So that's another piece. It's just like, all right, no hangover, no intoxication when calling the family. And that didn't even get any question marks flying for me. I'm still blaming me. I'd say that at that point in time, I was drinking more than I had in the past, but I don't think that makes the argument that I got wasted easier at this place. And we'll go into how much I had because it's not that much. So like if I was more regularly drinking alcohol at that point, it makes me kind of think I would have been able to handle that amount of alcohol a lot easier. And we'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, so my mom comes in, she's kind of doing the little mom thing, just being sweet and everything, but at the same time she's low key trying to interrogate, make sure her son didn't just get trashed and jump off a building or some shit, you know what I mean? So, cuz the only thing I remember at this point, I'm telling him I remember an impact. That's the only thing I could remember, and I had this dream vision of me like landing on my feet. That just doesn't add up anymore now that I realized the word impact was what I said. The impact is what I felt. I just equated it to like jumping a fence and landing wrong or doing like, doing some type of jump and not being able to land it. Nothing about the situation that I can remember after this year makes sense as to how that happened, but there's one piece that truly seems to check out, okay? Hi Jax. Do you wanna say hi to the camera? Hello. No, I need this. You can't lay there. You can't lay there. I need this for my camera. You're not allowed. Just you take your space, I take mine, okay? It's a deal we have here. All right. So this is when I start putting things together because all of my friends start saying, dude, you were totally fine and then you disappeared. Did you get drugged? And there was no question in my mind of did I get drugged until 5 or 6 of my friends all said, hey man, you seemed pretty all right. And then you just weren't. And we didn't know where you were. Are you sure something beyond your power happened or didn't happen to you? And that's when a bit of the nerves started happening. Obviously, I got those first couple texts and kind of clenched my bunghole, tried to feel if anything felt a little loose down there, nothing. I had a sore throat, but I'd equate that to the screaming I did all night, Not wherever your mind might have gone, because my mind went there for days. I mean, it's not fun to think you might have got date rape drugged. That's all I'm saying. And then, this is just a side note, you're telling someone, because I don't like lying to people. So if people ask what happened, I just go, you tell me. And they go, what? And then I have to explain a little bit. And the moment I say, I think I got drugged, it goes from like, haha, what happened to, I am so sorry. And you just go, whoa. Not, I didn't, And they're like, oh. And now we're both like, you just made it a little more awkward than it needed to. And they just kind of go off on their day. You know what I mean? And we're both kind of uncomfortable about the situation. That happened every time. Every time. So getting drugged and not getting sexually assaulted, success in my book. I'm happy with that. A little extra piece I also remember that I forgot. My mom brought up a cool point. Well, not a cool point. It's a shitty point. That there's apparently a movement of revenge druggings going on where women are drugging men out of revenge for the date rape situation. I don't know what your stance on that is, but I think that's but it did not get rid of all the other issues. It's been a very difficult conversation to have. I hope you're okay with, I hope you're able to walk into all of these possibilities without having a seizure. Because you're going to realize very quickly on that I still don't have enough information to make up my mind on what happened. Nobody does. We'll never be able to make up our mind on what happened. And that's just something I've had to face. That's something I've had to get used to and accept. Hey man, it's fine. She's her own being. Yeah, I just kind of have to accept the fact that I'll never really be able to know. And I feel like I did that pretty early. There was a point where I thought I was just going to go That's So Raven out of nowhere and like, I slipped on a banana and jumped into a fire. Like, no, I'll never be able to really know. But I have a lot of intuition that I woke up with, and a lot of just being able to be alone with my mind and the few memories I had. And when you're stuck like that, especially being in like I was bedridden for 4 months or something like that. Um, like I could move to go to the bathroom, but it was bad. Like it was really bad. It wasn't just the leg, and it wasn't just the ankle. It wasn't just rotation, and it wasn't just weight bearing. It was both. So both of these injuries are rare in their own way. But together they're one of the most rare. Or that's at least what a physical therapist was saying. He was like, "You're fucked for a while, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your ankle and your leg broke right where all of the weight goes, and it's going to be bad." And that is something I wish I took more seriously, because it really got difficult to deal with myself not being able to be what I was used to, a normal human being. But I had a couple months of just being like, just laying in bed, depressed as ever, wondering what happened to me. And so this is kind of these are the pieces I've been able to get put together. So anyway, the entire day now, not just the incident, the entire day starts with me going to one of my best buddy Knox's. I think it's his house now, but he invited me to go write with two really awesome dudes, Bo and Logan. And we were just doing a little write. I don't know if we had scheduled it or if we just winged it. Usually we wing it. But we nailed the first write, and I was just about to head out, and the boys go, "Yo, it's Bo's birthday tonight. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Of course. Like, that'd be sick. I have nothing to do today. Let's go." And first off, the song was a banger. We're definitely going to do something with that.
So when did the sound close your eyes? I don't wanna die. But if we're going down, I'll be going down by your side. If we're running down,
But I don't know. I where do we go from here? There's nothing in between that I'm forgetting, right? No, it just goes straight to the pub. So we have like a little like carpool situation where we're all having fun listening to the music, and I'm meeting a couple new people, but nothing happens in between. We get to the pub, which is actually one of my favorite restaurants in Nashville. It's one of the first places I found and really clinged. I'll read that burp. It's one of the first places I really enjoyed in Nashville. So the moment I found out they were going there, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. I got food here and drinks. And I think the check for me specifically was like $50. And the pub's the pub's in the Gulch, like middle of the city. It's not like a cheap spot. But I probably had there was a bottle of wine, 2 bottles of wine free given to Bo by his label. I probably had a glass of that, a mixed drink maybe 2 hours in, and then I started with beer while I was like eating appetizers and eating food and stuff. So the only piece at this point when I get this story out of the way is like people go, "Oh, you mixed alcohols." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I wasn't even gone at this point. I was fine. I was chilling. This is like the first 3 hours of the time we're all having dinner. Like no one's really trying to party. We're just all talking at this point. It's one big table of people just chatting it up and having a good time and eating food and having some drinks. Towards the end is when Knox goes, "Ben, this is amazing. Try this." And it's a mixed drink. And I'm like, "This is freaking delicious. I'm going to get one." I think I had 2 of those. So let's go. Let's add it up. At most, let's exaggerate actually. At most, I had 2 beers, 2 wines, and 2 mixed drinks. That is 6 drinks within 3 hours. 2.5 hours, maybe? I am not worried about that. Even if I did mix alcohol, you can say whatever you want. I know what I can handle. I could do that right now, and taken a drip of alcohol in a couple weeks. So, well, actually, no, I had a margarita once at a Mexican restaurant, so I can't lie. But I am chilling at this point. We're walking out. The boys want to go to Dogwood. And I hadn't heard anything about Dogwood. I had no idea what Dogwood was. I just knew it was a bar and the guys wanted to go, and I was cool with that. I'll be tossing little sidebars in that I forgot to add. One of them being that Dogwood had a double homicide almost a year before me. And literally, just last week, my best friend Miles witnessed a very large bar fight in the same place after he told everyone, hey, we don't want to go there. So, not really the best place. So, I hop in with Knox. We drive over to Dogwood. Everybody's there. We're having a blast. And this is the point where everything just turns. Everything just turns. I'm chilling there, kind of bored, kind of thinking like this is kind of where I would go home. I don't really know. Like everything's kind of split up. This isn't my scene anymore. I'm not sitting down talking with my friends. We're at a bar. And it's a bar lifestyle. It's just not my usual thing. So I remember Knox saying, what are we doing? We're at a bar. We need to get a beer. So I go and I asked for a Corona. And I remember her giving me a tall, skinny can of Corona. And I had never seen that before. I don't know why that memory checks out. But when you only have a few of them, the ones that stick forever. So I see that and I'm like, what the hell? And I just kind of walk away. I don't remember anything bad happening here. Like, I remember hugging, seeing her in the bar. She asked the bartender to play her song when we came in. It was a little weird. And then I shouldn't have said her name. I'll black out. I'll beep out her last name. But then at the memory I remember the most that I've never really been able to truly understand is because I remember hugging Bo. Bo got there a little later. Everything was normal. I don't remember how long I was there because this is when it's gone. I remember I'm sitting with Chris Rudiger and one of his buddies that he's talking to about music. And I'm listening. Everything seems to make perfect sense. And then I try to add to the conversation. Just a simple sentence like, yeah, and then you have and literally I hear that nothing I'm saying feels like English. Like, I remember thinking, why am I not here? What's going on? I've blacked out once in my entire life, and it was when I was like 19, maybe 20, in an apartment. And I remember going, I'm blacking out, and then just waking up in my bed, and there was like puke on my floor, and I was like, never again. This was not that. I'm scared. This isn't how I should be feeling right now. And then I wake up in the hospital. How would I? Call of Duty, or in those movies where you see like the blink, 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 and it changes every scene. You know what I mean? They blink and they're in a new spot, and they blink and they're over here, and they blink and they're in the trenches. You know what I mean? I have that. The last thing I remember is not feeling like I was 100% cognitively and freaking out. I wonder if maybe my phone was already lost and I thought, oh, maybe I can just like say I need to go find my phone and get some fresh air or something like that. I think I panicked the moment I realized like I felt off and it didn't seem to be like it was something I could control or something that was done by me. I don't see myself panicking and going, guys, help me. I see myself trying to go outside and be alone for a little bit because I don't like being a bother. I don't like being a burden. So if I just go through the little blinks, it's in the bar having a good time and then black. And I'm having this type of dream where my whole body is little sparkles, little pieces of light from head to toe. No hair. It's just my body. Like, just my body. Whether that's my spirit or some crazy shit, I don't care. It was a dream at this point, right? Out of nowhere, from my hip down on my right leg goes lightning mode. Everything else is still these little beautiful sparkles, but my right leg is shooting fire in every direction. And I'm visually seeing this. Like it's out of body, I'm staring at myself above. And I start to feel the same pain in the same places. My entire leg is on fire. And I start thinking in this literal dream, did I tear my ACL again? What's going on? So, like, I'm cognitively here in my dream. I remember being in a dream and thinking, what's happening to me? As it happened or right after it happened, I truly don't know. But then I kind of blink in that dream and wake up to hearing myself just mumbling like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. While someone else is going, no, bro, you're fucked. We have to get you somewhere. I will never forget the figure of that person. I can't remember their face, but I will never forget the line of their hair. He had a trench coat. It was all black. I will never forget that human being because originally I thought that was the Good Samaritan that saved my life. And it might not have been. We'll skip over to that in a little bit. But at this point, this person saved my life. I don't know where I was, but I was dragged 2 to 3 blocks by this person and another person about halfway down who helped him. I blink and come to hearing him explain, no, we got to get you somewhere. Blink again, and I'm being dragged by just him, trying to walk with him, completely incapable. My body will not work. My leg will not move. Not just the broken one, the working one. And I hear him go, help me! And I look up and see someone run up and just help. And that's 2 people now who are willing to just drop everything they were doing and drag a random stranger multiple blocks to flashing lights, hoping they were police or EMTs. And they were. I remember these lights. I remember thinking they were taking me to the cops. And I am so not here. I have no idea what's happening. So I don't know if I'm already crying at this point from the pain, or if I start crying once I get really confused as to what's happening. Because I don't think I realize my leg's broken. I have no idea what's going on. They're just dragging me, and I can't walk. And I feel nothing right now. I can't even explain the experience. It's just mind-boggling to this day. But then I kind of flash back sitting on the side of a little brick thing, surrounded by EMTs that I think I thought were cops. And it's even written that I was just distraught, emotional, confused. And the only thing I was saying was, this isn't me, and my parents are going to have to pay for my medical bills. So I don't know what that means. This isn't me has really rattled my brain for a long time, because at first it seems like me kind of excusing the fact that I'm drunk. That's the way I heard it when I read it. Because at that time I didn't have enough pieces of the puzzle to really settle in my brain what I believed the truth was. I don't think that's it. I think it was just me saying, this is not I wasn't able to say too much apparently, because I said 3 things the entire time. I think that was my best explanation of help. This is, I can't show you who I am. I can't talk to you. This isn't me. That's what I have come to terms with it meaning. I believe that I was incapable of explaining, yo, my body and brain aren't working. And I think that they were just trying to do their job. So they wrote down what I said. They can't just read in between the lines of what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But that's one of the reasons why I wonder if they just didn't assume anything other than this guy's drunk. Because, I don't know, there's just a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons that I don't blame any of the EMTs for stuff we'll figure out in a little bit. Then I blink and flash back in the ambulance, and I wake up to my own screams. It's ah, you know what I mean? And I open my eyes, and they're just I see one girl go, "I'm sorry, honey, we got to do it." And I literally said, "Oh, you do you, man. You do what you got to do," and just laid back and started screaming. And then I flashed again, passed out from the pain. So even there, in the worst of it, I mean, that's only an hour or so into what's going on. I start to be a little bit more like myself, I guess. but I'm not there. I don't think in any situation would I wake up and go, you, do what you got to do in the middle of my ankle breaking. I didn't ask a question about what was going on. I was completely confused. And the last blink is just waking up in the hospital to her going like, hey, you good? What's going on? You're in the hospital. So fast forward to trying to put things together. Obviously, we start by thinking, let's just go to the bar and get footage. Because if we have security footage, we can see if Ben drank more at this bar than expected. Oh, another thing. I think I spent like $15 or $20 at this next bar, which is where I would have blacked out. If I was drinking enough, this is like an hour after all the drinking had happened and ended and we were leaving. We go to this next place. I didn't drink shit. $15, $20 is like 2 or 3 beers on Midtown bars. Okay, so I don't see it. Doesn't check out for me. I've had a year to really think about it and really sit with myself and my conscience, and I don't see it. But I spent let's go with $20 at this bar, and it was all beer. I feel like one mixed drink would be $20 at fucking Dogwood. But I mean, it had to have been. I have no idea of the timeline, so I can't really give the timeline. But it feels like I was there for like an hour. Maybe I was there for like 2 minutes, and I don't fucking know. It all is. I'm there. I'm confused. Gone. There's not a lot of in between. We go to the bar. My mom goes to the bar, actually. I am bedridden. My mom goes to the bar, and they say, sorry, we can't help you. You need a warrant for that footage. What? Why? What happened to me? My mom's just like, excuse me? What do you mean? This is... Like, he's laying in bed right now. He can't walk. He almost died. What are you talking about? And they're just like, get a warrant or don't come back. One girl is like, hey, I'll keep the footage if you can get a warrant. I'll hold on to it for a couple weeks. One girl was trying to be very helpful. Texted my mom on the DL.
Yet another massive piece that I forgot to add. That same girl had been fired by the time my mom got a hold of her to ask for a second chance at getting the footage. She was already fired and didn't say why.
We go to the police and say, hey, we need a warrant to find out what happened to me in this security footage. The police go, hey, man, we need security footage to get a warrant. This is where things get frustrating. So knowing this, we go, are we screwed? Is there nothing we can do to prove what happened to me, to us? Because my mom is just living through this. And they say, you can go to the hospital and you can ask for your blood tests. And we're like, booyah, let's go test our blood. Oh, sorry, we didn't take your blood. We just pricked your arm for the IV. I've talked to multiple nurses. I've asked every nurse that I talked to about this one question. Some of them say it's protocol to take blood no matter what in a situation like this. Some of them say it's the exact opposite, and they just assume you're drunk, and they don't want to give you any more issues than you already have. So, I don't really know. I assume, with the report I read and how emotional I was, that these people really felt for me and had no way to assume that I had been date rape drugged. I'm a 6'2" man with like 200 pounds under his belt. No, like, I just lost 10 pounds. I'm 190. And that's after a year of being fat because I couldn't walk. So I'm probably 180 at that point, 175. I was a good weight then. I was skinny. Now we're getting buff, baby. Buff! Not yet, though. I think that they were just trying to help. I don't blame the EMTs for not taking blood. I think if that was protocol, I don't think that they broke it out of malice or anything, ignorant. I genuinely believe that they could have just assumed they had a 20-something-year-old drunk man and didn't want to ruin his life. And that's fine. Like, I don't blame them. I blame Dogwood for not just... I mean, like, if I would rather go 2 days after I break my leg to Dogwood and them show me a video of me taking 15 shots and know that it was my fault for the rest of my life than to have gone a year not knowing what the fuck happened. But that's what it's been. And I've just had to accept that. I completely accept that at this point. I don't, like, this has changed my life for the better in so many ways that I don't even care. But I think that's all the information of what really happened. And now I think it's time to go into the theory. Because I got a couple theories from different people. The surgeon who worked on my ankle and leg, because I have a plate in my ankle now, 7 or 8, I think 8 screws. I'll show some pictures of that if I can find it. Here's the scar. Pretty fun, huh? Look at that baby. Looking nice and sexy. The surgeon said I do these all the time. Not necessarily the ankle and the leg at the same time, but I do these all the time. People usually just trip. You probably fell down the stairs at Dogwood. Got too trashed and just fell down the stairs. And I'm like, bro, my entire right leg is green. Above my knee all the way down is green and purple. I didn't just trip down the stairs, man. Only one part of my entire body took an impact. I have like the tiniest little knot on my head. The back of my head makes no sense that I just twisted my little ankle just right on out of place, snapped my leg and broke my ankle all the way off. No, that doesn't check out. What does check out, in my opinion, is the sidewalk directly past the staircase only being like 3-4 foot wide before you're walking through parked cars onto a busy road with a curve directly at it. I think Ben having a panic attack about why his brain is not working maybe did stumble down the stairs. Let's give him that. You know, maybe I tripped down the stairs, couldn't keep my balance, and walked into oncoming traffic. Right leg out, car goes bam, just runs my leg over. I don't think I got like clipped and flew into the air. I think I just got smashed on the right leg. Okay? This is where the Good Samaritan comes into play, maybe not so good. And this is a theory. This is what I have told myself truly feels the most accurate with what I can remember. That Good Samaritan, I think, is the person who hit me with their car. I think that they parked, ran back up, and said, yo, bro, you're fucked. We got to get you somewhere. Saw that there were lights about 3 blocks down, was willing to drag me down there, and then run back over to his car and just act like it never happened. Why do I think this? Because this dude was clearly, visibly, like, aware of what was going on with me, at least to an extent, was willing to drag me 3 blocks down the road, and then wasn't willing to say a single statement to the people he dropped me off to. The dude disappeared. The dude dropped me off and ran. I have mixed feelings about this person because I'm sitting here 10 times stronger than I ever was. I don't blame anybody in this situation. I don't care really about life. I don't blame anyone. It's fine. Life happens. You live with it. But I don't know if he was the Good Samaritan or if he was just fixing his tracks. That'll haunt me a little bit. You know what I mean? But I've truly made peace with the situation, and it doesn't haunt me to the extent where it actually becomes an issue. It's just always going to be on my mind, like, hey man, did you save my life or did you endanger it and then make sure I didn't lose it? But yeah, the second guy who dragged me, I know he was innocent, so props to that dude. Wish I could remember his face. That's another thing too. Blacked out. I'm blacked out. I'm supposed to be, at least. Super drunk, and every time I'm conscious, I have full memory of what happens. I don't know. There's pieces I don't understand. I've researched a lot of what happens when you black out drunk, and I've researched a lot of what happens when you get drugged. And the time that it takes to just completely like lose everything and have these little dream states and have these like pieces where it almost makes sense and then doesn't, and not really be able to say what happened last night for a span of 4 hours. Date rape drug. Like literally everything. If you search a date rape drug, my timeline checks out perfectly. And as much as I can't prove it, even to myself, I have been able to accept that that is the most plausible in my heart. And that's enough for me. I don't tell, like, I didn't obviously jump on this story to make that your opinion. That, I mean, you can make your own. That's why I tried to give every piece of it, because I've never tried to take the stance of, you have to believe me. I've finished this entire story, and people have just said, so you got trashed, and it hurts because I don't think I did, but I can't keep someone from thinking that. Maybe that's something they did back in the day, and they just see myself in them. But I don't like partying out in public very often unless I'm with one or two people I feel really comfortable with. An entire birthday party of people I don't really know in a bar I've never been to, I'm just not taking shots. That's just not me. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting trashed. I'll do that with 500 people I've never met if they're in my house. But it's not my cup of tea. And so, yeah, I think with that theory, we kind of come to the point of where we go from here, because that's the whole story. And I don't want it to just end with that, because I want to be able to now move on to how good life is right now. Not everything's great. Ben's a little heartbroken bitch. That's never changing. I always find a way to do that to myself. But I was brain dead, bro. I was just smoking weed all day, every day, trying to like ignore all my shit. I had plenty of reasons to live and I wasn't taking them. Okay. I was handed a reason to live because I almost lost all of them. And ever since then, it's just been the thought of be yourself and nothing else. I think that's where this podcast came from as well. Love as hard as you can. Don't hate as hard as you can. Find a way to get rid of all that. But do everything that is good with full intention and full effort. I have learned so many things about myself and so many things about the people I care about in this 1 year of just having to rebuild. I've learned. I've done so many good things for myself, just due to the fact that some of the worst things ever happened. I was addicted to weed. I was addicted to nicotine. I'm not anymore. I don't vape. I don't put those like fake non-tobacco nicotine things in my lip. You can go find other episodes where I was quitting vape and had those in my mouth all the time, thinking like this helps. No, it's gross. Makes you sick. Makes you feel bad about yourself. There are so many positives, immense positives that have come out of this situation. And I am genuinely blessed that it happened. I told my friends that when the car accident happened 4 years ago, and I kind of made the realization that I should have died. It always felt like it should have meant more. It always felt like, damn, I should really be a changed man. But there was nothing I could do to help that situation. Like, I got hit from behind by a car, slammed my head into a tree, and didn't lose consciousness. It was just a miracle that didn't have to happen, but did. And I didn't know how to cope with that. This, in a very similar way, I could have not known how to cope with that, but I was physically injured. So I had to cope. I had to cope with the injury. And with doing that, I was able to cope with the fact that I had another chance at life. And what started as, oh, I'm never going back. Like, I'm going I'm going to be healthy real soon, and everything turned into 5 months without being able to take a single pound of weight or put a single pound of weight on my foot, to 6 months to 7 months. And 7 months, I think, maybe 6, I took my first tiny little step. And then that step turned into a really ugly walk. And all of my friends were like, Ben, you need to go to the doctor and figure that out. You look stupid. And I would say, I know, but I'm walking. Why aren't you happy for me? I didn't care. Like, nobody realized how painful it was to just watch them be normal. And so I looked for any excuse to take a step. I didn't care how I looked for the first month at least. I knew it would get better, but then it didn't. It was a couple months of really not being able to walk straight. My ankle couldn't bend the right way, which meant I had to completely peg leg it, like full extended leg, extended knee at all times. And it was a bad limp. And that started getting really, really, really bad, really insecure. Like, I truly did not feel like a human. I felt like everywhere I went, people were looking at me because I couldn't walk, and I was a 23-year-old dude who should have been able to. That was really hard. That was probably one of the more difficult things, which is so strange. Other than them setting my ankle, doing the surgery, and the nerve blockers. I've never felt more pain in my entire life than those nerve blockers coming off. They they turn off your nerves so that you can't feel your entire leg. And then they just break your ankle and leg again and screw in a bunch of screws into your actual bone. And then they just send you on your way, and they're like, you're fine now. Have fun in 5 hours when that feeling comes back. And you're like, what? What do you mean? And then you're laying in bed thinking everything's fine until it just starts to turn on. And it's like when the tide's coming in, but it just doesn't stop coming in. It gets deeper and deeper, the pain, for literal hours. That's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. But mentally, one of the worst pains was just not feeling like I was myself. Not feeling like I was a real person. Feeling like if I was a real person, that I still didn't add up to the rest of the people around me. I think that I lost hope for a little bit. I think I really got scared that would be me forever. It's not. Look at this. You can't see it, but I just jumped. It was a great jump. Let's do it again. This is my right leg. Bad leg, bad ankle, just one-footed jump. Directly up, directly down. Not very high, that's for sure. But it's a jump. And I'm going to the gym. I've lost 10 pounds. I still have a gut, and then my top ab is there. It's hilarious. It's like I have abs and flabs. It's pretty sick. Definition of my arms, not really there. Never has been. But it's getting there, you know? Everything's good. And I mean that. And I might not have everything I want. I might not have everything I've dreamed of, but everything is good. Everything I have is good. And this is too. And that's why there's nothing in me that wanted to let this go, a whole month without posting too. But I needed to sit back and focus on what I needed to focus on, figure out what the right things to do were, and do them. And I think this was one of the right things to do. I genuinely feel like this is I think this is a good episode. And I hope you learned a lot about Ben Becker in this time. And I hope that the next time you get the chance, you will come right on back and spend some more time with Ben Becker. Thanks. Let's drop that big old beat real quick. I missed it.